Peptides and nootropics are becoming much more popular, and I never thought that I would make this video on a study channel or an educational channel whatsoever. However, you may not know this, but I have tried a lot of different nootropics, a lot of different peptides, all in the hopes of improving my cognition and for the sake of getting better at studying and learning in general. A lot of what I'm sharing today, I would just gatekept. I never told anyone about this and I didn't feel the need to, but over the past 8 years, I've experimented with a whole bunch of different nootropics and peptides, anything that would improve my brain function. Firstly, I should start by saying that if anyone tells you that nootropics or peptides work better than prescription medication, they're lying. Over these 8 years building all of these different stacks, I haven't found a single stack, peptide or nootropic, that can beat one Addy, Ritalin or Dexy. And the main reasons I started looking into nootropics was in an attempt to wean off of prescription medication. If I could get something that was just as effective and I could manipulate in a sense to get as much out of my brain as possible without the harsh side effects of prescription medication, why not? It's also important to note that I do not have ADHD, nor have I been clinically diagnosed with ADHD. I'm just obsessed with learning, working, and the idea of ultra learning. So this led me to want to replace the prescription medication, and these are the top 3 nootropics / peptides that I found actually work or have a little bit of a benefit. I'll also preface by saying I never completed medical school, so this isn't advice that you should take seriously. And it's also worth noting that I've optimized this list based on the prerequisites that you already sleep well and have a good diet. Now, if in the future this is something that you guys want, comment down below, and I'm more than happy to make a video on my nighttime routine, my morning routine, and what I eat to keep my brain as optimized as possible. But you have to have these things in check, or else a lot of these won't even be effective. Number 1, the triple threat. Cimax, modafinil, and caffeine. This combo is best described as a 12-hour coffee buzz. I can't give out the exact dosages or the specific names like as subtitles, so read between the lines and do your own research. However, when it comes to taking these, I wouldn't necessarily take them alone. I personally prefer to take them as a stack because I feel it stays synergized much better with one another. Cimax really helps with the synergy between other dopamine reuptake inhibitors, and I find that it's just much more useful for giving me a little bit of focus and motivation. Then you combine that with the afinil family, and I say afinil because there's many different ones. I find that I have this persistent focus, actually nearly robotic, and this lasts for quite some time. And because I like that cracked out feeling, which many other people who enjoy stimulants like, caffeine on top of that really gets me going. This is not for a lot of people, however, and you may find yourself jittering. I personally do not experience this, but if you are one of these people, keep that in mind. Also, it's important to note with stacks like these, you can have issues such as heart palpitations or feeling unwell, nausea, headaches, so it's very important to stay hydrated. The pros of this stack is it's an incredible force for most people to get to work. The afinil family is usually prescribed for people that have narcolepsy, meaning that they're chronically tired. This basically eliminates the feeling of tiredness whatsoever. The downside of this, however, is irritability. I find I'm much more irritable toward the end of the day when I've taken an afinil family, and on top of that is I find I'm extremely robotic and dull. I can't think very complex, and I just feel a little bit synthetic. Modafinil, being as strong as it is, also means you have to take into consideration the timing of your dose. I take it after a good meal in the morning, along with 2 sprays of Cimax. I said I wouldn't say dosages, I did. And with that, you have the start to your day. Start with a very low dose and then move your way up, based on what's been working for you. Recommendation for the use of this stack is on days when you do not have your prescription meds available and you need an extra drive or a kick up the ass. You can also combine this with your prescriptions. I just find that if I don't have access or I want to take a day off, this is the closest thing that I can get to my Addies, the Rits, the Dexies, whatever else you want to use. And because of that, I highly recommend this stack for that specific use case. Another interesting point is that there's many different afinils, so look up which one works best for you. I find modafinil is widely considered to be people's favorite. It has much less of an aggressive peak and it's more steady and climbs, along with a better dopamine profile. I don't want to get too verbose and speak more, but yeah. My second choice is going to be piracetam or any racetam family, specifically phenylpiracetam. The best case use for this is going to be if you need an immediate 2 to 4 hours, at least in my experience, of focus. We definitely know phenylpiracetam works because it's actually banned by sports federations for performance-enhancing activities. And it does actually enhance your performance, whether you're going to use it before you go to the gym, before sport, or before studying. It's important to note with the racetam family, it depletes your choline significantly. It's very important that you combine this with something like alpha GPC, or you just eat 5 eggs like I do in my case, to raise your choline levels. This also increases the synergy and makes it work much better. A lot of people find that racetams don't work at all for them or work wonderfully. A lot of people use racetams for the verbal fluency that you get out of it. And I would say that phenylpiracetam is 1/10 of the feeling of taking a prescription stimulant, but it has a 10 out of 10 profile in my opinion for verbal fluency. It's important to note that dosing for this is quite high, specifically piracetam. I take 8 out of 10 out of a sheet per day, which is quite a high dosage. Now, if you have something like phenylpiracetam, the dosage is lower, but the tolerance buildup is very quick. A lot of people find that within 1 week, their tolerance has gone up significantly. In my experience, because I don't even notice the effects, it's so subtle, I just stick to piracetam. However, I do have phenylpiracetam over there somewhere. I don't even use it because it's just insignificant for me in the effects profile, but on the days where I really want to just add it on top, then I will add it to what I already have and play with the placebo effect. Now we have bromanatane or Wellbutrin. If you are unaware of what Wellbutrin is, I highly suggest you do not take anything that I've mentioned in this video or do some more research. Wellbutrin is certainly not something to play with. A lot of people have very bad side effects from it, but in my case, I find it to be quite useful. Wellbutrin specifically builds up in your system over 4 weeks and it's made as a antidepressant for people. I don't use it for that whatsoever. In fact, for me, I don't use Wellbutrin. I have one more that I have completely gate-kept and will continue to do so that I do use instead. But if you want something similar to what I am using, Wellbutrin is a good choice. I've added bromanatane here because it synergizes with everything that I have mentioned above. It acts on dopamine, and a lot of people report that they find it really improves their motivation. Now, because the effects of all of the things I've mentioned here are relatively acute for me, I wouldn't put it in that same basket for me. However, due to the additional drive and motivation that it does bring, I've added it here because it is very, very popular, and it's popular for a reason. Now, if I could only choose one out of these stacks that I've given, this is my ideal stack. Every second morning, not on days where I use prescriptions, I'd wake up and have a good meal and then have modafinil and Semax. After I've taken that, I would follow it up by vitamin D and also your omega-3s. Omega-3s are very important for your brain function, brain health, and my breakfast I would certainly include choline. As I said, a lot of these things affect choline, and choline is just important for your brain function in general. With the modafinil and Semax in our system, we can head to the cafe or come work and sit here and get ready to go. 90 minutes after waking up, I will take caffeine as well, and then we are really buzzing. Make sure that when you are in this overly stimulated sensation, you only have the work that you need in front of you. Get as much of it out of the way as you possibly can. Now with the stack, you need to also consider your health. That's why I included the supplementation, but I also highly recommend drinking water, as you will feel very dehydrated on something like modafinil, and to take periodic breaks. If you're someone like me who gets tunnel visioned, it's hard to get up after you've entered flow state, and because of that, you're going to have back problems and your posture is going to be all messed up. So very important to take an hour and a half, every hour and a half, take a 10-minute walk. I highly recommend getting outside. Walks are so underrated, and in my opinion, they're a nootropic peptide supplement in themselves. The reason why I'm also hard on vitamin D is very important for your energy levels, and a lot of people are deficient, especially in countries where you don't get exposure to the sun directly. Vitamin B has also shown to synergize with stimulants, and being someone who's a stimulant junkie, I like the synergy, so my vitamin D levels have to remain high. Lastly, I want to note, if you are fat or you do not sleep enough, then don't bother with anything that I've mentioned in the above. You're just going to do more harm to your body, and it's not worth it. Put down the food and go pick up some shoes and get fit first before you do any of this stuff. This stuff will suppress your appetite anyway, but I'm not recommending it for anyone with body dysmorphia or if you're fat. Just do it the normal way. If you enjoy this content and you want to see more of it, comment down below what you want to see. I have had a plethora of different experiences. Just to show you again, these bags are full of what I've just used in the past 6 months that I have kept. The other stuff that I don't find rare, I tend to just throw away. So just by chance I had it. Peptides are in and it's a very popular topic. That's why I've included it here in the video. And this is my Semax bottle. Simple. I have vials and a whole bunch of other stuff. So when it comes to this, I would say I'm relatively a veteran because I've experimented on my guinea pig quite thoroughly. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video. Remember to subscribe, stay sober instead of doing whatever I just said. See you soon.